Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Battling same-sex marriage. The fight is on for the legalization of so-called gay marriage in 3 states, as lawmakers in 2 of the 3 states push for referendums on the issue. In the western United States, the Washington Senate is announcing that it now has enough support to send a law to legalize same-sex marriage to the governor, who said he will pass the bill, while true marriage supporters fight for a referendum to keep the law from going into effect in June. Meanwhile, Catholic Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley squares off against the teachings of his faith, introducing a new law that he hopes will legalize same-sex marriage and announcing it as his primary focus of the upcoming year. In contrast, the Catholic governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, is promising to veto a bill proposed by the Democratic-controlled legislature of the state, also calling for a referendum. It is worthy to note, no state has successfully legalized homosexual marriage through popular vote by referendum. Sex ed and scouting. Ties to Planned Parenthood have one Virginia Catholic parish kicking the Girl Scouts out. The choice of St. Timothy's Roman Catholic Church and School to exercise its rights of private property stem from the Girl Scouts of the USA, GSUSA's, approach to so-called, quote, reproductive freedom. Reports from the organization CFAM, or the Catholic Family and Human Rights Institute, say that in 2010, an organization affiliated with GSUSA had girls participate in a United Nations-sponsored workshop based on a pamphlet called Happy, Healthy, and Hot, which encourages young girls to consider sexually deviant behavior. In 2004, GSUSA's CEO told national media that her organization partnered with Planned Parenthood to bring sex education-based programs to girls across the United States. Fighting fetal flavoring. The disturbing practice of using aborted fetuses as ingredients in food products or in flavor testing will be banned in Oklahoma if one senator has his way. Senator Ralph Shorty introduced a bill late last week in the Sooner state that would ban the production or sale of food or products which utilize aborted human fetuses. Food giants like PepsiCo have been boycotted by pro-lifers for their relationship with Cinemix, a biotech company that uses aborted fetal cells in the research and development of artificial flavor enhancers for Pepsi beverages. In an interview with a local Oklahoma radio station, Shorty admitted that he is unaware if the practice currently happens in Oklahoma. He went on to say that, quote, if it does happen, then we are not going to allow it to manufacture here, end quote. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Healthcare mandate options. There are other ways to force you to buy health care if the mandate in Obamacare fails, according to Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. The cabinet member of the Obama administration ominously told Jon Stewart on The Daily Show that, quote, there are other ways to encourage people to come in, end quote. She says while she is confident the Supreme Court will uphold the mandate to buy health insurance, if it doesn't, there are other alternatives to creating universal health care in the country. The mandate in the Supreme Court is just the fastest way. This segment of the interview where she says this was left out of the show that aired earlier this week, but you can get a complete look at what she has to say on the subject on our resource page by clicking the link right outside the screen. And finally, abortion study debunked. Claims are being made in a recent study that abortion is safer than childbirth, quoting a medical student and biased doctors who work for a company that lobbies for unprescribed Plan B contraceptives. The study makes the very old claim comparing the data that there are 8.8 deaths per 100,000 live births compared to 0.6 deaths for every 100,000 abortions. which pro-life doctors say doesn't come close to presenting the reality of abortion. Dr. Mary Davenport of the American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs is only one of many to step forward, saying such numbers only account for immediate death, ignoring the risky behaviors of substance abuse and suicide deaths related to abortion. While numbers can be made to say anything, it cannot be ignored that countries with liberal abortion laws like South Africa have the highest maternal mortality rates, while countries like Ireland that outlaw abortion have the lowest maternal death rates in the world. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out The Vortex, where Michael talks about Catholics rejecting the superiority of Christianity. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.